predictive factors of CNV retreatment, swept source OCTA versus structural OCTB, with evaluation during follow-up. My disclosure? As you know, the OCTA sensitivity for CNV detection was previously evaluated from 50 to 87%. The OCTA sensitivity for CNV activity and quiescence were found in the first paper of Koskas versus multimodal imaging with a good kappa coefficient and 5 active criteria: tiny branching, lobes, vessel termini, halo, and shape. In another paper, the morphologic appearance of CNV on OCTA did not have significant correlation with clinical activity, but with different inclusion and exclusion criteria. In the unique multicenter study for type 1 CNV, combined OCTA and OCTB had a good sensitivity and excellent reproducibility. The vessel density was negatively correlated with duration of remission, and the regression of blood flow was not associated with good visual acuity. Recently, two active qualitative criteria, tiny branching and arcade, are relevant for active CNV versus non-treated quiescent CNV, and fractal dimension was studied in this paper and allows a quantitative evaluation. Fractal dimension was statistically lower in the inner part of the treated CNV and in the total lesion of quiescent versus active CNVs. In the beginning, we used terminology of shape: medusa, siphon, glomerular shape, or dead tree appearance. More recently, network was described as tangled versus filamentous, dense net versus loose net, well versus poorly circumscribed. Other criteria were added: anastomosis and loop, peripheral anastomotic arcade, perilesional dark halo. Here, current data of hypersignal. On the left, active CNV has a dense network with interconnected tiny capillaries, lobes, peripheral arcade, and dark halo. In the middle, recurrent aspect as an activity wave with extension of interconnected tiny capillaries and peripheral area. And on the right, quiescent stage of fibrosis with remodeling voluminous rarefied vessels and dead tree trunk. The aim of this study is to describe and analyze OCTA findings based on activity criteria in treated exudative EMD. FR, ICGA, OCTB were performed from initial diagnosis. Type 3 and polyps were excluded. 126 eyes were included. Mean follow-up was 22 months, mean IVT 10, and mean interval from the last IVT 2.35 months. 4 OCTA factors were studied: branching, tiny or large, loops, peripheral arcade, and halo present or missing. OCTA analysis of each different parameters was assessed with excellent sensitivity and good specificity in each case. In the overall analysis, considering all 4 OCTA criteria, the sensitivity is excellent and specificity good. The intragraduate coefficient is 88% and the intergraduate coefficient is 78. A test of validation with a third grader from another team on a new sample of 104 patients shows a concordance rate of 90%. With swept source OCTA, we found a significant and strong correlation between each parameter and therapeutic decision of IVT. And receiving operating curve indicates that this model correctly predicted the injection of 94% of cases for all criteria with a relative risk of 7.9. The probability of having an IVT considering 2 active criteria, tiny branching and arcade on swept source OCTA, is 95%. 5% related to their multicollinearity. The association on those two criteria seems to be the most powerful for the treatment decision and can be used in clinical practice as those two criteria are easy to identify. For 9% of the case, OCTA will have anastomotic ARCAD criteria present even with no fluid detectable on structural OCT. CNV seems still quiescent without fluid, either due to collateral circulation or due to an earlier detection of recurrences on OCTA. Suggestion is to include OCTA results in our different therapeutic strategies. The limit of this cohort study are due to instruments, due to inclusion criteria, and due to a relatively small sample because OCT and OCTB are very similar methods. OCTA qualitative studies described a morphologic change in neovascular networks during intravitreal treatment. And I would like also to share with you our preliminary findings obtained by fractal analysis. Fractal dimension was 1.7 on FA. In tumor, neovascular networks submit to anti-angiogenic therapies, blood vessels reduced their density, lost their random architecture, and returned to a more normal and regular pattern. The fractal analysis calculates the complexity of the lesion and the lacunarity characterizes the homogeneity of the lesion. Here, a video of delineation after automatic binarization, filtrage, and noise reduction of avascular segmentation. Some cases. Here we observe a lower fractal dimension and a lower lacunarity in active CNV versus in fibrous-treated CNV. Here are two cases of activity of CNV with same low complexity but different lacunarity. The CNV of the left are less fibrous and more homogeneous than those on the right. Here, the CNV of the left are more fibrous and more heterogeneous than those on the right. And here, two cases with same texture but different complexity. The CNV of the left are more fibrous and larger than those on the right. The fractal dimension is also related to area and we need a longer follow-up. In conclusion, the study could allow the possibility to create a model allowing definition of IVT relative risk for therapeutic decision according to the result of Swepsio Society imaging. The main criteria, peripheral arcade and tiny branching, are associated with a high probability of treatment. During follow-up, the variable status of lesion, persistent, quiescent, or recurrent, requires more than one qualitative criteria for a strong conclusion, still be validated by quantitative objective criteria studies. Thank you.